Hi kids, welcome to Culinary Kits for Kids, and in today's recipe we're going to be making chicken stuffed sweet potatoes. So it's going to be really delicious. We're also going to be making a homemade pico de gallo to go along with it. So I'm going to just list out everything you're going to need today. So you're going to need a baking sheet or a little baking tin with some aluminum foil. You're going to have all this in your kit, but you're also going to need a few bowls to mix in. You're going to need a cutting board. You're going to need a skillet with some oil. And then I'll get into the ingredients, okay? So in your kit, you're gonna have some canned chicken right here. You're gonna have some taco seasoning, some shredded cheese. You're gonna have some black beans. You're gonna have a lot of fresh produce. You're gonna have a red onion, a half of a green bell pepper, a Roma tomato, a lime, cilantro, and chives. So cilantro's right here. The chives are gonna be your longer ones. These are gonna like act in place as your onion. They're gonna go on top of your sweet potato. And you're also gonna have some sweet potato. So it's gonna look like this. It's hard, you can knock on it, it's really hard. Sweet potato is awesome for us. It has a lot of vitamin A, a lot of antioxidants, a lot of fiber. So it's really gonna help us out in terms of our immune system. It's gonna help us stay full because it's full of energy. So it's really good for us, guys. So we're gonna work with this. So what I want you to do first is get your sweet potato and you're gonna get a fork and we're gonna poke some holes in it just like that. And be careful, right? Don't do it like I'm doing. Put it on a surface, hold it, and poke it just like that. And you're gonna wanna really pierce the outer skin because this is what's going to cook it for the most part. So once you put holes in it just like this, you're gonna get a tissue paper and you're gonna wet it like a paper towel. You're gonna wrap it around. So it looks like this. You're gonna wrap it around the potato. And you're gonna put this potato in your microwave for 10 to 12 minutes depending on the size. So if it's a little smaller, 10 minutes. If it's a little bigger, 12 minutes. And when it's done and out of the microwave, it's going to look like this. So if y'all could see, it got wrinkled. It cooked from the inside. We can knock it and it's not hard anymore. It's nice and soft. So that means that our sweet potato is pretty much cooked up for us. So this is what we want. We're gonna set that hot potato to the side because it's gonna be hot when it comes out. We don't wanna get burned. And we're gonna work with our chicken. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna get a skillet and we're gonna put it to low heat, medium low, with a little bit of oil. We're gonna get our chicken, open the can, and we're gonna drain the juice. So in one bowl, I'm gonna drain the juice. Carefully, because there's a lot, right? And just try to squeeze all that juice out. Just like that. And you might not need all the chicken that you have in the can. It does come with a lot. So just keep in mind you might have extra chicken left over. So we're gonna go ahead and throw this chicken into our skillet that's nice and hot for us. That's the sound we want, guys. Okay, I have some stragglers in here. Put it all in there. And you're gonna get a little spatula or a spoon, whatever you have at hand, and just make those chunks of chicken smaller. Okay, we're just breaking that up. We don't want big chunks of chicken because then if we have big chunks, if you open it up, there's no seasoning inside, right? So you want to get all those chicken pieces nice and small. And I'm just making them smaller and smaller with the tip of my spatula. Just like that. And if you were to be using raw meat, like ground beef, this is how you would do it too. You would put it in your skillet and you would just break it up until it cooks. But of course our chicken is cooked today. So that's always nice. So now we have our chicken in little pieces. They're not in big chunks anymore. We're gonna go ahead and throw in our black beans. So our black beans are great for us. They're full of iron, they're full of fiber as well. A good source of plant protein. So we're getting a lot of protein in this dish. We're getting our lean protein from our chicken. We're also getting our plant-based protein from our black beans and our fiber. So that's always great, right? And our black beans are cooked for us too, which is good. We're gonna go ahead and throw in our taco seasoning, which is gonna give our chicken and our black beans a lot of that flavor. And if you find that your chicken is getting kind of dry, you can always add a little bit of water or some chicken stock or some chicken broth, and that'll keep your chicken from getting a little dry. But it does have a little bit of moisture from the can. Okay. So just like that. And we just need to cook it for about 5 minutes. And then our mixture is done for us, which is great. It's already pretty much done. We're gonna go ahead and turn off our skillet. Okay, set this to the side. And now that we have our chicken ready, we're gonna go ahead and work on our second recipe, which is our pico de gallo. So pico de gallo is a salsa that we make here in, you know, our little area. But it's basically made with tomato, lime, a pepper. In our case, we're using a bell pepper, so it's not too spicy, but usually it's made with jalapeno, with serrano pepper. And we're using a piece of an onion, cilantro, and that's about it. So we're gonna start cutting stuff. So this is the fun part. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with my bell pepper since it's kind of cut already. And what I wanna do here is I'm just gonna take my kid-friendly knife and I'm gonna go around the bell pepper, just trying to get that white piece out. This is called the pith and it's kind of bitter. Just toss it to the side. And then from here, we're gonna put it on the flat surface, hold it steady with our other hand, and with our knife, we're gonna go in a seesaw motion back and forth until we cut this piece in half. And now we can work on our halves. So I like to cut it with this side to the knife. I don't know why, it's just what I like to do. So I like to cut it into strips, just like this, okay? And from here, I give it a dice. So from here, I'm making those nice little cubes that we see in our salsa. And you don't want to make too big of a piece. You want to make everything the same size and everything pretty small, just like this. Okay? So when we come back, my bell pepper will be chopped and we'll move on to the next thing. Okay guys, our bell pepper's chopped for us. So now I'm going to start working on my tomato. So the tomato is relatively easy. What I like to do to make it easier on myself is I like to first cut it in a seesaw motion, right? Because our tomatoes are very watery and they're a little fleshy, so it's easier to cut them like this. And I'm just gonna cut them into slices, but not too thick. See how I'm keeping them a little thin, a little uniform, because you're gonna want everything the same size. Okay, so I'm just slicing my tomato. And once I slice it all up, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dice it. So from here, you're gonna take your slice and you're gonna start slicing that slice, just like this. Then you're gonna turn it over and slice again, and that's gonna make little chunks of tomatoes. So that's how you dice your tomato. So I'm gonna go ahead and dice this whole tomato for us, and then I'm gonna work on our onion. And when we're done, we'll have our salsa almost done for us. Our tomatoes already nice and diced, so I'm gonna go ahead and work on our onion. So what we're gonna wanna do is just take that first layer of our onion off. That's our skin, protects our onion. We need it, okay? We're taking it off. So now we're gonna, ooh, my onion has a little bit of a weird piece, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that off, just like that. It's still good. So now we're gonna go ahead and just thinly slice, I'm gonna back and forth seesaw motion again, our onion into little pieces just like this. So if you were to slice it, I'm sorry, this piece is not good. If you were to slice it, it would look like this. And then from here, you're just going to go ahead and dice it into those little squares we're looking for. Because we want everything to be in a square, because we want it all in uniform. We want to get a piece of every ingredient in every bite. So that's why we're trying to put these in little squares here. There we go. So I have my onion just in little lines like this. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut it the other way. And I'm going to make those nice squares with my onion. So onion's really good for us too, guys. Don't think that just because it stinks, it's not good. It has a good flavor. It adds a lot of dimension into your dish. Gives it a nice deep flavor. It has a lot of nutritional value too. So make sure you're eating your onion. So there we go. Got our onion chopped. Go ahead and put it in our bowl. So now we just have to work on our cilantro. So what I like to do is I like to just get it all and roll it just like this. Some people don't like using the stems, but I use them. You can use them or not, it's up to you. And from here, you're just gonna give it a rough chop. And it's gonna smell very fresh, very fragrant. So you're gonna throw all that into our pico, and last but not least, our lime juice. So we're gonna go ahead and cut that in half. We're gonna use half for our potato and half for our pico de gallo. So just, again, in a seesaw motion, using your muscles, because the limes are a little bit thicker, tougher. 2 pieces. 1 piece straight into your salsa. Use your muscles. Sometimes it's hard to get all that juice out. But the more juice you get, the more flavorful, right? So that's always a good thing. Give it a good mix. So as you can see, we got our colors here. We got our red from our tomato, our green from our pepper, from our cilantro as well, our purple from our onion. It's nice and beautiful and fragrant. All that we need here is just a little bit of salt, and we're ready to go. So we'll set this to the side. Let me get my workspace a little bit cleaner. Okay, so now we're ready to stuff our chicken. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna get our pan that we set to the side and our potato that we set to the side to cool, our wrinkly potato. And now we're gonna go ahead and cut that through the middle. So where did I leave my knife? I put it over here. It went away, it's fine. We'll get a different one. Here's one. So what we're gonna do from here is we're gonna go ahead and cut the potato in half, okay? So this part is a little hard. If your microwave tends to harden the end, it's okay, just give it a nice cut. Right down the middle. So there's our sweet potato. It's still hot. Y'all can see the little steam coming from it. That's okay, so we're gonna put it into our dish. The fork that you poked it with, you're gonna get that and you're gonna gently just scrape the insides, just like this, so that your potato can come out and it could be nice and just stuffed in there. If you cook your potato a little longer, it might get hard, just like this piece, just FYI. We're gonna do that to the other potato. Make sure your potato is cooled when you're doing this already, because if you're doing this hot, it could burn you. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna press into the middle with my fork just to make like a little indentation in there for our chicken. Go ahead and get some of our chicken and our potato. And we're just gonna start pushing that chicken mixture down into our potato. So I'm just spooning it in there and I'm just pushing it in, just like that. And like I said, you're gonna have some chicken left over, that's okay. Go ahead and repeat this step with your other side, sorry. Just like that. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and top with our cheese. Right on top of the sweet potato. And our fresh pico. Oop, it went everywhere. And don't worry, because we're gonna put some after it's done too. We're gonna go ahead and throw this beautiful masterpiece into our oven for about 10 to 15 minutes until our cheese is melted, and then it's ready to eat. Okay guys, so our potatoes are out of the oven. They look beautiful. I'm just gonna take them out and try to show you them on here on our plates. So they're super pretty. So what you can do now is with your other half of your lemon, you can go ahead and just top that chicken off with some lemon juice. And then for your chives, you can cut them with a knife, or you can go ahead and just tear some with your fingers. Just put those on there. Just like that. And those are gonna give us an oniony flavor. And they're ready to enjoy, y'all. I really hope you like the recipe. It's full of nutrients. Let us know how it is. Thank you.